Hi, guys.
Hey.
Welcome to Dear Alice.
We're here.
Yes,
my
we
gosh.
are. It's another Thursday and in the summer, and it's been a good one. We've had a lot of requests to do deep dives on some of our projects, remodels in particular. So you guys must be in project mode, and we are going to start a new series for you guys here at Dear Alice called Remodel Masterclass.
I'm
It's
so excited.
a luxury reveal. So we'll maybe do one of these once a month for those of you in project mode, and just showing how we're reallocating spaces, how we're reimagining rooms. It does take an imagination to really see a home differently than it's currently been done.
Yeah. You kind of know, we've talked about this for if you're a new build or if you're a remodel. Most of us live in a home. Most of us have a house project or want to do something. You wouldn't be here, right, if you didn't care about your house. I love a remodel. I love like reimagining spaces. And there's like, you get some bad inherited architecture, but you also get some just like problem solving and things that you wouldn't necessarily have planned for, or corners or pockets that somebody else brought to the table that you get to benefit from and make it your own.
Also,
that's the magic of a remodel.
Also keep in mind, like the one that we're about to show you is in Dallas, Texas. It's in a really, really lovely area. Called Highland Park, which is kind of like the Beverly Hills of Dallas. And there's no land available, right? So you're going to either purchase a home and knock it down if you want to do a new build, or you're going to purchase a home and reimagine it. So a lot of you might live in areas like that, which have been populated for a long time. They're very popular. There's no land available. So most of you are just purchasing existing homes and then making them yours, which is the case of this project that we call Lover's Lane.
Yes. I love it so much.
I would say too that sometimes limitations can like bring out creativity. So you have like more like, I don't know, remarkable, fun things, and
you have a better outcome. And I think in a lot of like corners of a space that like, again, you couldn't have planned for that, but like it was a gift to you that like, I don't know, just got thrown in a blender and reimagined your way. And it's super gratifying. And especially, who doesn't love a before and after? I tell you what, remember all those makeover shows?
Yes.
In the 90s?
This is our version of the makeover show.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yes. We're going to show you the before and afters and the problem solving we did to get to this. We've got floor plans today. We've got Suze's sketches, and then you'll see the finished outcome. And we're actually saving Suze's favorite room for the end of this project. So make sure and stay tuned to see that. But first, I wanted to tell you guys about a free service that we have here at Alice Lane. If you're just on the furnishings portion of your house and you're trying to get it right, and for some reason it's really hard to work on your own project, you kind of just get this hijack in your brain where you're like, I don't know why I can't make decisions for myself, but I could tell anybody else what to do. Our home furnishings design service is interior designers that know all of the Alice Lane Rolodex. They know all of our 200 vendors. They know all of our products that we're creating, and they can give you the best expert help for free. This is complimentary because you're going to be purchasing the things through Alice Lane. So it's incredibly popular. It's crazy that we do it, but we have really, really talented designers on standby to help you and take advantage of that service. Again, it's called Home Furnishing Design. Corey, tell them where to find it on our website.
So if you go to our website, alicelanehome.com, you go to the Design Services tab, scroll down to Home Furnishing Design, and it'll take you to a form that you fill out, and one of our designers will get back to you.
Yeah, and they get back right away, which I think is a thing in the industry. You have a lot of creative people, and they don't always get right back to you and pick up the phone. And so you're going to love that these guys do. So anyway, go give that a try. I know you'll be able to finish off your rooms in a really beautiful way.
Not to mention exclusive product.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I probably already said that, but
and,
I'm going to say it again.
And like, a lot of the time that's the group that's getting like, the
front row.
Yeah. Front row to it. So that's great.
It is great.
But yeah, Kate, well, let's get started on this project.
Yeah.
Okay, so just again, you mentioned it's in Dallas. The family that approached us, they're a young family, 5 young kids. And that was that same thing where and he like deals in development and stuff. And like they were able to purchase, I believe it's actually 2 lots that had like this house on it, because it does have like a pool house and a pool. But it was just very, very dated. And like, it just wasn't like the way it was configured. didn't fit the needs of the family. Again, it was a lot of separate rooms, which you know that there's a place for separate rooms and we love a scene. But like for the way this family needed to live, like they just needed like more space. They needed a larger kitchen. They needed an office for him, a command center for her. There were certain needs that they knew, you know, what they needed when they went into this. And so it was just like, now how do we like slice and dice this thing up, right?
They had already purchased the home when they had contacted us. So it was like, okay.
Yeah, they had already purchased the home. And actually we were at a site visit for another project in Dallas in Highland Park. And like, it was early in the morning. We only had like so much time and we got the call and I like slipped over there like in the morning. Like they weren't there. Nobody was there. It was like so early. And I remember just like peeking through the gates. I still have pictures on my phone of just like, hey, this is the house. This is where it's at. You know, just like
let's show them really quick that just the exterior of the house, the way it was.
Okay.
Because I want them to be able to visualize. This is you peeking through the fence. This is the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is
what was this home built?
Gosh, I don't even know. I think it was like in the 90s, like early
2000s.
Yeah,
90s, so Mediterranean,
like beautiful
house. Like this is sprawling,
like
all stone manor on the exterior, fountain in the front.
Yeah, again, they
paver
have
driveway, really beautiful.
Yeah, lovely home. And so, like, I saw this and I saw the floor plans, and then we got started. I mean, they had a team like ready to go. Already had torn it up and like just started to look at chip finishes of the things that they knew they didn't like, but they just needed help with like, now what do we do with it? So anyway, so this is the exterior. This is what became of the exterior.
They kept that Mediterranean tile roof though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just kind of modernized this home, went black windows and just a really crisp, I think, edit to what it was. Yeah. It feels really, really beautiful.
And the fun thing too, lighter. But even like brighter. From the exterior, like from the street that it's on, the whole thing is fenced by green. So you don't even see the house. Like there's just like green everywhere around it. So you feel just so enveloped. So it doesn't feel like a desert. You know that you're in somewhere a little bit more lush and humid, definitely more humid. But this is like where we ended. There's a couple things too that we're going to get into the floor plan real fast. That we might come back and revisit these because I want to show you a few things. Okay. This is the floor plan. We're going to like be covering about 4 spaces, like the kitchen, their office, both of their offices, and my favorite room at the very, very end. But I want to first talk about, just reallocating space. Remember how I said we were going to slice and dice? This is where you'd walk into the entry right here at the bottom of the screen. And this is how it sat before. Okay. You had an entry, you had a formal dining on the right side. And then you have like a walk-in, like little butler's pantry with a regular pantry. And then you have a pretty small kitchen. Actually, these plans were older. They didn't even have that peninsula. They just had this U shape with a small rectangular island in the center, which like their kids can't sit at. Like there's just like not enough space.
Also, I feel like when homes were being designed back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't the open floor plan that we were today. And what we wanted to do with the floor plan here was to open it up and get a better flow. Because those of you that are not watching right now, we're looking at a really nice size floor plan, but because everything was sectioned off, each space doesn't feel that connected to the next. So you're having these really individual experiences in them, and this big family wants to feel connected. And I think a lot of people that inherited homes from this time have tried to feel like, how can we open the house up, right, and share light? Also, they were craving a lighter, brighter experience. And this was feeling darker, and the kitchen was so small. Will you show them the kitchen before? That is so dramatic.
Okay. There we go. Okay.
So you can see, like, those of you tuning in and watching on YouTube or Spotify, you can see this kitchen. It's not only a stain grade dark, I feel like it's dark mahogany or cherry wood, Corey, would you say?
Yeah.
Really dark kitchen, kind of a yellowy, plastery finish. The casings are that dark beige, and you've got precast around the windows. So they went for it here. We've got granite countertops, but it's just a big U shape, and it's not conducive to feeling open or gathering. Nobody can sit in there. There's no island for 5 kids to sit at. So it's just kind of entrapped and feels really heavy for such a small space.
I know. I'm like, the whole thing, like when you walk through the house previously in these before pictures, you're going to feel like you're being pinched. Like it's just like, it's too tight. And again, especially when you see the grand grandness of that exterior and the sprawlingness of it, it doesn't feel like the inside. Like you should feel like that sense of grandeur when you walk into a space like that, right?
Yep.
You know what is nice about this home though is the high ceilings.
Oh my gosh.
For the time the home was built.
Absolutely.
So you had volume, which is awesome. And then just changing up the floor plan also gave you the width besides the height.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Good bones to work with.
I know. So I'm going to go to, okay, so this is the before plan. You've all seen it. Okay, now we're going to hit the after plan. We did a bunch of different versions of this, but this is where we landed to kind of fit the client's needs. They wanted a larger kitchen. And so what we did, and they didn't need a formal dining room. That's one thing. Like, look at your space, like your homes, and what spaces do you not use? Like, get rid of those and reallocate it for something that you need or the lifestyle that you want to live. This family, again, they wanted an entry that like a proper entry. The other one was like shared with a dining room. So we closed that wall off, and then we opened it up to completely give you a big kitchen and a large, we call it a keeping room. It's this like little adjacent room to the kitchen where you can have like a small gathering that's separate from a family room, you know, where just like people can be conversing, can be talking to the cook. And it's just like another little gathering space that's still in the mix of everything. So nobody feels like they're in timeout. I feel like the last plan, you felt like you were in timeout in that kitchen. All these spaces were so isolated that you're like, okay, everybody's lonely and sad. Like soft sadness everywhere. So, but one thing that I think is interesting, because we mixed this a ton of different ways before we landed here, but this little space where those two windows were in that last pinched kitchen, those are these kitchen windows. Again, not a lot of light. It's kind of crazy to think. I think we tried to avoid it for a while. The idea of covering up, like not having that be shared with the kitchen space. But in the end, it made the very, very most sense in order to get like a larger footprint for our island, to actually create the pantry back here with those windows, which is a pretty dreamy experience to like create an experience for that pantry moment, but really to just elongate that whole island so that we can generously seat, you know, all of her children at one time. There's plenty of space between, and you have this keeping room. The keeping room is probably my favorite add in this whole space. The kitchen's awesome. The pantries are great. But like this whole space, just like it is a party barge.
Yeah.
Like they entertain, and they entertain really, really well in this space. And there's some of these vacancies, again, on this floor plan that you're looking at. You have the kitchen, you have the keeping room at the bottom, and you have this family room that's sitting over to the left with the fireplace that's still open to all this space. Like people in the kitchen can kind of yell and like at the game or talk to people over here. But you had this vacancy, which like was a perfect spot for a dining table, like a large dining table. I think we're like an 84-inch dining table right here, so that they can really, again, host. And they have another thing we should show probably on our social. We can't go into everything today, but the previous owners had like this little bar area. And our client wanted a soda bar and like an ice cream parlor with a service window out to the pad on the deck.
That's right.
And so, yes, and all their friends. And so again, thinking about like, how are we going to use this space? Like, are you big drinkers? Is that important to you? Or like, you just need an ice cream parlor as a service window so that you're the house that all the kids want to go to. And that is this house.
So good.
It's very, very family friendly.
I love that you mentioned kind of you like reworking it a couple different ways and had landed on this one and trying to like kind of incorporate those windows into the kitchen somehow, but just realizing like the best thing to do is like, hey, let's just give the pantry those windows and just, you know, lay the kitchen out this way. And I think there's always going to be a give and take in remodels.
Yes.
And
always.
Yeah. And it turned out like dreamy. That's amazing. And then like taking the space that was really useless and like, hey, we don't need a formal dining room, but we still need something, and we're going to like go ahead and use that space. I feel like as far as square footage goes, you're taking advantage of all of it rather than kind of leaving voids in your home. Yeah. So,
and this is why I just want to put a plug in for it's nice to hire an expert, because if you're taking on the remodel yourself, you can only reimagine that kitchen as it was, and you're like, well, we'll just take out the old cabinets and put something new in.
Yep.
This is something that the designers just really broke their brain over. And I just want to say the designers on our staff, they have interior architecture degrees. And so they actually did this. They didn't hire an architect to do this work. They sort of scraped the floor plan clean and they reimagined it several different ways with the client to come up with this. And then you can use engineers to make sure what's load bearing still gets the support that it needs, if it is load bearing at all.
Yep.
To be able to come up with a brand new solution for this old house, and you can live the way that you want to live if you get creative and think outside the box. That's
Absolutely.
why it's worth hiring a professional, because
Amen.
look at the difference in living like this versus the befores, right?
It's just more, it's like more collective. It's more together.
Yeah.
You know, rather than like, hey, we'll be in here, you're in the kitchen.
Whoever was in the kitchen before probably felt like they were in timeout, like Sue said, because there's not a ton of room in there, and
there's only room for one cook
yeah
in there, you know, and like cooking is such an experience. And I think more and more as like the decades have gone that we just, that's the party is making the dinner together.
Totally.
Okay. This is just a study sketch on how we wanted to start allocating. You can kind of see, we had tall cabinetry on the left on that far wall, and that's where we're going to put our fridge and everything. In that doorway that I have shown in this sketch right here, that goes to that back pantry area. So
which
we
is
needed
the old kitchen windows.
Yes, which is the old kitchen window. Area. But then we gained like all this space for our big range wall. Because again, the range, that is your money shot. Like that is what you pay for when you park a car underneath that hood. And then again, with the kitchen, with the pantry, here's another little sketch of just like, how are we going to utilize, like try and get as much vertical storage for pantry, but then floating shelves over the window. Again, just to kind of keep it open, but still have usable pantry space, because that's where you go to shop.
Definitely. And you don't want to get rid of window light. Also on the front of the house, you don't want to lose windows.
No.
No. Yeah.
Okay. And then this is like in process picture. I think we were there like styling, but you can kind of see here through that pantry door, we have a pocket door. Also pockets, like don't underestimate the power of a pocket.
I also love that you did glass pocket doors. So like kind of bring in some of that light.
Don't block that light. Yeah, glass pocket doors are awesome. And the nice thing about a pocket, I know some builders will like kind of like raise their arms and
because
have a
they're
tantrum.
Hard. They're super
They're
hard.
hard and you have to double frame a wall, but you just don't take up real estate with a door swing. And if it's open all the time, people can peek back there, because it's always fun to see those transition spots and to see like what is beyond the door.
But still be able to close it off, which because you don't want just to Yep.
I know this is just a cell phone image that's on the screen right now, but look how bright this kitchen is. Well, this is also isn't a white kitchen. This is a dark green kitchen.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shared light that's coming in from the keeping room and from the pantry, because you did the glass door, and then also from the room that's not in here, which is that kitchen table area. It just feels so good.
It feels so bright.
It's
and happy.
amazing that that other kitchen has the windows right in that space. Yeah, this really is a story of shared light.
Yep.
It feels
really is.
lighter and brighter than the other kitchen, even though technically has windows.
I know.
Yeah.
One thing, again, you think that this island is long. This was before that butcher block portion was added in. So it's about to get even better. You can kind of see that butcher block that just extended that even more. Still have like at least a 4-foot pathway right there. But really fun. You can kind of see back to the pantry and just how the space was filled in these next images. And I just think it turned out so, so beautiful. This is kind of looking in from the keeping room.
Yeah.
It's just, and again, I like that you pointed out that it was dark green, just because like the client was fun. They were young and they were willing to take a risk. And this was back in 2021. And so again, in this kind of sea of gray still back there, we were trying to introduce color.
Love.
Oh, I love, these are just like snaps from my cell phone, but you can really see that pocket door is just so dreamy, and that reeded front detail on the front of that island. Anyway, it's just such a crazy, like dramatic transformation.
There's so many classic elements about that kitchen with, the brass corbels holding up the marble shelves, those Ralph Lauren pendants in all brass, picture lights. It really feels so, so good. There's a lot of classical details in it, and the dark green also just feels like such a classic. And I know they've said in like restaurant design that you want to use like green, because it feels living and produce and fresh, and everything looks good in it, right? And reds, I think, are also great for restaurant design. They always say no blues. It doesn't make the food look appetizing. So this is like such a money shot and a great idea. If you are considering a color kitchen, I think green is probably going to be top of the list, don't you think?
And it's the color that we use the very most when you get into pantries and for kitchens, just because it does pair so well with whatever you put with it, right?
Always, yeah. And it just feels classic.
And it still feels young. Like it still feels really fresh. Like that's a piece that her sister painted. And like, anyway, there's little personal touches that like she had wanted us to incorporate. So,
Suze, I heard you got Cozier's new luxury blanket, and I want you to tell us about it.
I did. It's my very favorite new toy. It's the Bubble Cuddle Blanket from Cozy Earth, and it's this faux fur that is the softest blanket I've ever experienced. All my family, we all go downstairs and we watch movies together almost every night in the summer, and we all fight over a blanket, and I think I won. I have the Bubble Cuddle, and it is so soft and furry, and I love it so much.
Cozy Earth also has amazing bamboo sheets that come with a 100-night sleep trial. So try them out. If you don't love them, return them hassle-free. There's also a 10-year warranty because once you feel this level of comfort, you'll want it to last a decade. So head to cozyearth.com and use our code DearAlice for up to 40% off. That's cozyearth.com, code DearAlice. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Because your bed should be more than a place to sleep. It should be your happy place. Cozy Earth makes that possible. Yeah, like looking at the before, like where are you laying stuff out? There was, and preparing it at the same time. It's like there's and having 5 kids. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
and like even in awesome. This, like it's not like it's a clean countertop. Like it's in the middle of an install and kids, and like there's a lot of stuff happening there, but it still looks beautiful just because like it's well allocated.
Yep.
So beautiful.
Yes. And when you do have a closed off pantry, you can do a fun tile on the floor. I don't know, peekaboo on that, guys. And then the keeping room. The keeping room, like in the actual plan development, was probably one of my favorites just because it was just a created space that like she didn't ask for. She wanted a bigger kitchen, but it's just a space that I knew, and like we both know like the power of a keeping room. And just like when someone's cooking, like if you're pregnant and you just need to sit and like not have a game on, you just want to have a conversation, this is where you go. If it was just like her and her husband that like in the morning, that's where I would eat my breakfast, is right there with that pull-up table and with the big windows and with the live tree just canopying over me, and just like that's to my thoughts.
If this is the holidays, this is where grandma's going to sit, and the nursing mother on the sofa, and somebody doing a puzzle at the table. And so this is their own little social thing, but they're feeling connected to their sister who's hosting Thanksgiving, and she's in the kitchen cooking, and there's just all these cute conversation circles going on. And or if grandma wants to talk about a story, everybody leans in and listens. And I don't know, you just feel my mom just has a little love seat within her kitchen, and everybody fights over it. There's always somebody that's there, or there's like a toddler napping on the sofa. He got tired and just fell asleep. It makes the kitchen so accommodating and comfortable, and more people can be with the host.
And you're probably getting a sample of whatever the chef is cooking. Like I'm just like, come try this. Does it need more salt? Does it need more sugar? What does it need? And I'm like, this is the hot spot, y'all.
Totally.
So, and then this is like just a process picture. We're still in the works with like the gallery, so we're just trying out some pieces, but just so you can kind of see, just like they wanted, something that would be really cozy for her husband. And so he did this like really kind of Ralph Lauren-y wing back, and then anyway, kept things like relatively light since we were living in such a heavy time, but still the opportunity to add color like forever and always is there, which is really exciting.
So beautiful.
So, and then this is a little before and after of this like bar. They had like this actual like wine room beyond this. There was like a little arch door. So anyway, that's where we put our soda fountains back there. And then we created a whole service window above this like counter where that window's at, so that they can just like slide that open and have the ice creams and all and the sodas out to the kids, which is really, really cute. And then after, we used the same floor tile here that we used in the pantry. So just seeing some of those like repeat bits are so beautiful. Went a little bit more dramatic on our stone in here because it's a soda bar. And we're going to put a picture of it. I didn't put in this slide, but they wanted a neon, and they're really, really fun. And so we're like, what should the neon sign say? And it was pour some sugar on me. No.
Lend me some sugar.
Lend me some sugar.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, clip that right. Yeah. Anyway, from Hey Ya. Yep.
That's awesome.
Podcast.
So good.
So good. Okay.
Love it.
So good. So that was the kitchen.
The kitchen transformation. Yes. We're just going to show you 2 more spaces in this home, even though there's a whole home. Yeah. You'll have to check it out on the portfolio. It's called Lover's Lane. But we want to go into his office and her office, which they call the command center.
Yes. Okay. So in this exterior shot, you can kind of see there's like this like very, very Caesar's Palace deck right here happening with those arcs. Then but you're in Dallas, like, so you have a very short time where it's not like hot and sticky. This wasn't really being used. So this shows the before of that deck area, and he had the great idea. He's like, I wish it was just a little bit bigger. And so we're like, well, why don't we still that and actually just like create a windowed box within your office. So you get all that light, but you expand your footprint. And so this was it before, again, kind of pinched again. And this was just like, again, studies of just like how we wanted to like expand that. That's where we put the sofa right there in the window and then put his desk just so that he could have built-ins on his left and the view out of his right. This is some process pictures showing just that windowed wall
now that
getting framed
that
out.
Deck is all enclosed.
The deck is all enclosed. And just some of the finished work and rhythms that we were playing with the windows and how that integrated with the built-ins. And then this is the after.
Beautiful.
Anyway, it's such a crazy before and after. Let's do that one more time. Before, after. I mean, it is Yoda. I'm so glad that you noticed that. They were like pulling out art and it wasn't framed. And he's just like, this is something that I just got. And I was just like, that's dope. Anyway, so we got it framed and highlighted it. And he loves New York and the city. And anyway, he loves tag graffiti. And anyway, so we have a lot of like little like winks at the homeowner throughout this office and throughout the home. But just really interesting. I think not only is the like shell of the room, like I think so lovely and warm and timeless and cool. It feels really young, but it also feels stately and collected and just something of like old books. But just all the pieces have like, I don't know, a character name to them. Like even that sofa, I remember like the design team, they had like a bunch of orange, like more rusts. And I'm just like, oh no, he's so much more fun than that. We need to like go more like we need neon orange, like as neon as we can like afford to go, right? So anyway, not one chair is the same, but it's a really interesting collection of people in here.
So cool.
So good.
So good. Okay, now, so that's his office. Now we're going to go to her command center. Again, you have this, like, I think a lot of people have formal dining rooms, formal living rooms, spaces that are like, I guess, nice to have, but if it's not the way you live and you need something else, like rip it out. So in this living room, there was a fireplace, and as we like did a bunch of different planning, we're like, really what we need in here is storage. And like, she just had a lot of requests where she's like, I want 2 kids. I want to be able to like store all my stuff. I want to be able to have filing in here. I want to have like any tools, like for crafts, for projects, for anything in this command center. I need a spot for like 2 kids to be working, including myself. And I need storage and I need a chaise. She's like, I really want a chaise or a space for like me to just do my own thing. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, hey, well, fireplace has got to go. And so she actually, as we were doing like the planning of everything, it was like when Cruella came out with Emma Stone. Thank you. Right. Anyway, Cruella came out, and I don't know if you guys remember, in like their office of the Baroness. Anyway, they had like all these arched windows, and the client screenshotted this, and she's like, I love this door. And so we see it here, just some of this like old British like iron work. And so we're just like, she's like, I think I want to do a door into my office like that. So we did create, and because we had some of these things happening on the exterior, we brought this on the inside too, which I thought was a really, really successful little venture here. And then this is kind of the after when you like look in there, so you can kind of see.
I love all of the arcs that you guys brought in off of those doors. The peninsula has that rounded edge, that big pedestal underneath it. The art even makes a circle, the big chandelier. You're feeling all these rounds within the square. And it's probably my favorite room in the house when you're just in the common area and you look over and you look in there, you're like, what is happening in there? It is just so fantastically designed. It's smart. You can tell that it works, but it's so beautiful and really unexpected. Yeah. I haven't seen anything like this before. And the color combination too. So good. I'm
excited for you to see, because even that chandelier was probably my favorite light in the whole house.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it turned out. Do you see that marble? Wow. Do you see that pedestal base? Again, you see it on our table over here as well. But one thing, again, that 5th wall, the ceiling, I think was such a big win in here. Can you imagine if that ceiling was white, like chlorophyll?
I can't imagine, because it's what everybody does.
I know.
And when you set the ceiling off like that in black, all of a sudden that light fixture becomes 4 times more impactful. So good. That little pinstripe pulling that down onto the crown is just such chic tailoring. Yeah, it's really so good and unexpected. It's amazing. Yeah.
So that's what maybe is like one of her favorite colors. This chandelier, it feels like a halo. It's giant. I want to say it's like 48 inches round, like it's huge. But the drama of that scale is so impactful when you go in here and you do feel it at night.
Yeah.
Holy cow. It's so dreamy when that thing is dimmed on. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, so,
I'm going to say this about those doors. I love those doors. And I think that's a testament to like building the right team around you, because you need to be able to have some flexibility and leave some space for magic to happen, because when you're in the middle of a remodel, that's all you're going to think about. Your mind's going to be obsessed with it. And then that's when your like eye's going to catch things and be like, oh, this would be cool to do here. This is, and then that's where the magic can happen. And if you like give that to your team and they're rigid, they're
the wrong team.
Yeah, it's the wrong team.
Yeah.
So
you should not feel uncomfortable to speak up if you're having an idea or something's inspiring you, because I think, like through everybody's filters, we can like turn that into something great. That's why we work in teams too, because someone will have this idea, but then someone's going to have this idea and then this idea and then this idea. And then just like combustion happens and like miracles happen, y'all.
Yeah.
It's
so true.
Good. It's so good because this is like heavenly. Like who wouldn't want, like if you had to like pay bills, like pay them in here.
Yeah,
man.
serious.
If you have to pay for the remodel, this is exactly where I'd be writing my checks right here. Right here.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right. So that concludes his and hers spaces. Okay. Now we're going to go to my favorite space, which actually existed. Like this wasn't a reallocation of space. It was sitting there. So it was just like the low hanging fruit. This is the power of just like, this is the room that you already have. That's just like not that great. That could be great, right? We always say that. Even like when we're like, we DM stuff all the time and we'll see something and we're like, well, you forwarded me something last night and you're like, it could have been great. Yeah. I'm like, I know. That's the saddest thing. It's just like, oh, if you just like take it to that next level, if you just get a little bit, it's okay if you're nervous. If you just like go for it, like those are the spaces you're going to want to stay in. I was thinking about that. They're like, what is your favorite space in this house? And I was thinking about like, what were the spaces that you just wanted to like sit and keep talking that I couldn't get myself out of, that I just wanted to stay. And it was his office, like both the offices, but I love saturation. It was his office and it was this next space. It's called the powder room, guys. I love a powder room. But like of all the powder rooms that like Alice Lane has ever done, this is my favorite.
I agree.
I think it's the space too. I'm going to go back to the floor plan just really quick so you can kind of like orient yourself.
I also want to say, shouldn't admit these things on air, but I also want to say her office is my favorite in the history of Alice Lane of all of the women we've worked with.
Yeah.
It's just, it's on another level.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's so chic.
It is, but it's also so smart. You know, the amount of storage and everything in there. You could tell that she had a big list of things we had to accomplish. And like Corey was saying, oftentimes when there's constraints can come great creativity around it. Yeah. And the way that the problems were solved is so good and so striking. And it's a space that you just want to be in.
Yeah. And
anything could happen. They could pull anything out of those cupboards. You could have kids doing homework in tandem. She could be on a chaise, making sure they're really doing it, but working on something else. It's just, it feels like a space where creativity can bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And homework wouldn't feel so sad and drab.
Yeah. It's magic. It's magic. I just want to remind you this, I'm going back to the floor plan. This is that powder room. So you walk in and it's kind of, you have the toilet over to the right. And so we looked at that and we tried to like respin it a few different ways. But we did occupy a little bit. This closet right here ended up becoming like a hidden little closet. Okay, so the powder is my favorite room in the whole house. And that was a really hard drum roll to like come to because the whole house is amazing. But these are just some of like the study sketches because it is kind of like this like little L-shaped space. Mm-hmm. And so how do we expand it? Before like they just had like this kind of rinky pedestal, but you had like all this opportunity and the square footage to really like do something with. So we did a floating vanity that could just like stretch from wall to wall. We had a great window in here. We had room for an etagere, like a really like lovely, like 100% brass etagere. Not even etagere. It was just like
a cabinet.
It's a cabinet.
Yeah,
a glass cabinet. Front brass cabinet. Like that's been we like saw it at market. Like every time I'm like, someday I'm gonna use that cabinet, and I got to use it in this powder room. Anyway, we nested this great little ottoman there, and I'm really excited that we did this because we redid all the flooring, and just with like little turns of your hardwood and just kind of giving people direction on how to use the space and how to go and where to find it. Just like follow the wood planks, and it wrapped around you can see in the sketches.
These are the details I feel like people would phone in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd like,
just run it straight.
Just run it through. They wouldn't even tell them what direction to run it. Just come off the hallway. That's hardwood. This room's hardwood. But if you really get into the details of design, you can get a payoff like this, where the hardwood floor actually kind of tells a story and meanders through the space. Yeah. And the payback is just so tremendous.
One of the many genius things like you did in that powder bath. It really is. Just putting that on a miter and 45ing it. It's good. Super smart.
Yeah, and it miters through the hallway too. So like it's just like you kind of follow that miter through into the space. And this was the powder. If he had clients come in, you know, or anybody, this is the powder that they use. So he's like, I want this to be awesome. I want it to be impressive. Like I want it to be great for me, but great for like the experience for other people, which, oh gosh, music to my ears. So I just love this. And we put it, let's go to the afters. This is the powder. You've probably seen us like flash this up on our website before and on our social, but I just love this. We used a Porter Telio wallpaper, but we customized the color a little bit because they have like stock colors that are beautiful, but you see them. And so we're like, let's just like turn the dial up and like just make it a little bit more rich, a little bit more interesting. And it just reminds me of just like deep sea, like kelp. I don't know. It's just like, there's something that's so mysterious about it that you just, and you're completely drenched. Like the ceiling is that color, that trim. We have this like rad proof of Mick Jagger with royalty happening over the toilet, which is so cool.
It's a Slim Aaron's proof with his handwriting on the slides. And there's just something kind of raw about just the handwriting and the looseness of it. And then the Porter Telio hand-painted wallpaper is a study in Japanese pottery. When they break pottery, they fill the cracks with gold. Yeah. So it's sort of a take on that. That's why you see this sort of gold leaf running through irregularly that feels like cracks. It's just so artful. It's smart. It's sophisticated. It's interesting. If I was a client going into that bathroom, I'd be like, where do I sign?
Sold.
This is this guy is in the details.
And at the end of the day, like it was me, the other designer, and the client. We all hung out in the powder at the end of the day. So maybe that's why I'm just like, that was a really great conversation on a really like tired, exhausting, gratifying, glorious day. Yeah. Because the end of the day, we ended in the powder. And that is why I just love this room.
Everybody gets to feel that way about their remodel at the end. They're tired, but it's glorious and gratifying.
And you're so happy for your client. Yeah. You're like, remodels are exhausting. This was a 2-year remodel. And so just like some of them can go quicker, but a lot of them drag on longer because you just find surprises. Things don't happen. It was in the middle of like the COVID, you know? And so just like there are a lot of things that were being thrown at the client and in the middle of trying to raise a family with just the hope that like, fingers crossed, it turns out awesome, you know, because it's a lot of money. Totally. And I actually talked to the client not that long ago and I asked her, I'm like, is there anything that you wish you did differently? And she's like, no. She's like, it worked awesome. She's like, there's this one swivel chair that blocks a little bit of a cabinet, but that's my kid's fault. It's not your fault or anything. But anyway, but just like to be able to say that like years later, that it works like the way you needed it to and like surpasses any of those expectations is like, I think just it's the cherry for our job, man. Like it's so good.
I bet the reason that is because they just went for it. Yeah. You know, had they phone stuffed in, they would have been like, I wouldn't know what it's like, you know, to have that if I just didn't go for it.
And I'll also say, besides being trusting, they were in it because she's sending you pictures from movies.
They both were in it.
Yeah. And so I think that sort of that trifecta of you're in it, you're trusting, you're sending ideas because you're in it and you're feeling them too. It's kind of like you're riding a wave, right? Yeah. Like you're surfing. And if everybody's feeling it together, then you can make decisions or text each other, or we're staying here and this is inspiring. And it's this energetic ball that's like sort of volleying through the air and everybody's kind of hitting it around. And like Corey said, they left space for magic to happen. And I just think this has been one of the most lovely remodels. I think if you guys are in the middle of a project, hopefully this has been helpful. Yeah. We can continue this Remodel Masterclass, maybe one a month, just to sort of share some of the problem solving and some of the solutions that you come up with, the constraints of a remodel. So This is the great work of ALID. That's our Alice Lane Interior Design Service. And they actually just are in the middle of a bunch of installs, which means we're opening the back door. If you guys have a full remodel that you want to do or a new build, we can take your project in the back door because you guys are listeners and we would love to help you. So if you're interested in that kind of work, that's a different design service. Corey, same thing, the tab on the website, will you tell them how to find ALID?
Yeah, go to alicelanehome.com and then design services tab. And then it's Alice Lane Interior Design. There's a form there. Fill that out and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's great. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We are, if you don't mind, leave us a review. That helps our show grow. And leave us a comment. We love to hear from you. Yes. Or if there's an episode that you guys want us to talk about, a topic, you can always send that to Dear Alice at alicelanehome.com. And we'll catch you guys next time. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.